Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the WGLNA Season 1 Gold League. I'm your host, Christian Toma. To my left is David Williams. Make sure to check us out on Facebook and YouTube, /WGLNA. If you guys aren't watching this on battleviewer.com, go and check that one out as well. And as always, follow us on Twitter, @WGLNA, so you guys can stay up to date on what's happening in the community around you.
You can also check out the question of the day, which is, what do you think we should call the Rheinmetall Borzig Waffenträger?
You're killing it every single time. I think it should be called the waffle.
Right.
Oh, they don't know that. They don't know that. Anyway, waffle for me.
Borzig.
For
because
you.
It's actually in the name.
Right.
Therefore, it's technically more accurate.
Sure.
I'm going to go with it.
And also,
the Roomba.
right,
waffle.
there's the Roomba.
I say them all, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Borzig from now on.
Borzig, I'm going to strictly be the waffle. But again, there's the Roomba out there as well. Ladies and gentlemen, you get to decide that in chat for yourselves. What should we call it? But up next, we have our third matchup of the night, 07 versus Game Over. For the side of 07, we've got Meadowhawk. For the side of Game Over, we've got Mega. See if they're ready for the face-off. Gentlemen, welcome. Oh, just going to be Meadowhawk there. Mega looks like he's not going to be connected. Christian, it's the solo interview. Welcome to the face-off.
How's
Great.
it going? Thanks for having me again.
Oh, you're welcome back anytime.
All right, Meadowhawk. So we've heard some rumors that Vitroxity isn't going to be playing for at least the next 2 games. What can you tell us about that?
We're sad to have him gone. Our press release department here gave me a statement to read to you guys. It's
Great.
It's pretty lengthy here, so just bear with me here.
Well, Mega's not here. She got double the time. Go ahead.
The public relations of 07 would like to release a statement regarding Vextrosities not being able to play. No comment. Next.
Well, that was extensive.
Lengthy. Good thing Mega's not here to
Comprehensive,
respond.
if you will.
Wow, you really went into detail
Yes.
there, Meadowhawk. Thank you for that. So if there's no comment, maybe this next question will be totally mute, but or maybe you can explain. How do you think this is going to affect your team at this critical time?
It shouldn't affect us too much. There are plenty of guys that are ready and willing to pick up Vextrosity's stats that he's dropping for fantasy points. Caminor will be one of them. If he doesn't have internet issues, I can see him being all over the field tonight. So,
right.
We're at the back half. Tonight it shouldn't be a big issue. Simp will be really hard because we're so close that I think it might matter a bit more in that match. But by then we'll have had more time to scrim and sort out our actual, who's going to be playing that night.
Yeah, well, it seems like you guys are very confident. So best of luck as this new kind of this new thing. I'm looking for a better word than thing there, but this new dilemma maybe presents itself to your team. Best of luck in that cohesion there. We'll see if it works out for you. Meadowhawk, Mega, we're here. Would you have any last words for him before the battle starts?
Good luck, guys. Best of luck in the rest of your season as well.
Awesome. Meadowhawk, always a pleasure to see you here, sir. Best of luck in the battle, and we'll see you guys shortly. All right. Man, again, thank goodness that was short because that could have gone on long.
Yes, I suppose it could have.
That statement literally makes sense no matter how you use it. Now, going in here, let's pull up the rosters here. Right, getting right back to this battle on the side of 07. We were saying Vitrocity now is no longer there. David, if you were in this situation, how do you think this would affect your team mentality?
Oh man, if I were in this position,
yeah,
I would be livid. Somebody pretty much would never be playing again. It'd be a tricky thing though, because Vitroxity is super important on his team. He's a great player overall, a great player in the league. I mean, his numbers go far beyond just standard deviation.
Absolutely.
He's a statistical outlier in many ways. He's good, just objectively good. So I don't know, it'd be really hard.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not going to get into speculating. I'm not going to share my opinion too much because I do not want to taint whatever their overall decision is, nor put my opinion on what happened. As they said, no comment.
Right.
I'm going to respect that. I'm going to leave it at that.
Fantastic.
And I'm not going to get involved any more than I already have.
Now let's looking for the side of Game Over here, going against 07 at a time where a player has been removed. Do you think this is like a confidence boost for them coming in against a team like this? You're saying, oh hey, they're down maybe a key member. let's take advantage of that. You think that's something that they're definitely thinking about?
Yeah, I mean, anything that Game Over can use to motivate their team is for any team, not just Game Over, is always important, is always good. So perhaps now the blood is in the water. Perhaps now is the best time to capitalize on that advantage and to take it all the way home.
Right.
But 07's not a bad team.
No.
I don't think one person is going to deconstruct their entire momentum.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's see how the story unfolds as we're into our now third matchup of the night, 07 versus Game Over. Let's get right into it on Himmelsdorf and see what we've got for our tanks.
07 with two 5100s, 4 IS3s, and a T37. Game Over with two 5100s, 4 IS3s, and a T37.
Oh, wow.
These matchups, these lineups are the same.
Identical lineup here coming up for both of these sides. Game Over starting on defense. Himmelsdorf now being played for the first time today. See how these teams both play it. Now, 07's kind of lineup looks like they're all going the hill. Dave, we've got all 7 members pushing up that 0 line. Looking at kind of Game Over's positions, they're sending Gandorf on a really large spotting run. Is this going to be kind of key if he doesn't see anyone here to, will Game Over have a nice inclination of what 07 is up to?
Yes, by deduction. Relatively soon, they should have a good idea of where 07 has to be. In the southeast, potentially hill, there is one of the first milestones of timing should be coming up right about now.
Okay.
And it's, I would say, let's just do it. We can do it right now while we're watching. The viewers can, and our fans can kind of figure out how this is done all at the same time while we take our own spot check. So right about now is when you could expect a team to be roughly where 07 is now if they're going to do that hill push, right?
Okay.
And actually, they're far behind what would be a normal timing. So based on my spot check there, I would say it looked like 5:45 to 5:55 or so left in clock is when you could expect a team to be coming over the 0 line if it's going to be a hard push.
Okay.
But with the amount of other information the Game Over has, that being one of the only other places that they could be coming from, perhaps you spend a little bit more time focused on that. So these timings are useful in certain things, like when you scout, when you move that scout. We saw High Voltage a while ago. A team pushed down the 0 line, and they had a scout there, and he ran away just perfectly in time.
Right.
Many weeks ago. It's probably easy to forget. We were both just exclaiming how close it was. That's a timing thing.
Yeah. And
the only reason it got as close as it did is because the opponent team was actually on the faster end of the timing spectrum. So you can expect, due to spawns, due to certain things, about 5 to 10 seconds of disparity in between your timing.
Okay.
Much of that may be a little bit more complicated than people are used to. Fortunately, I can't really break it down in any way faster than that. There's not much else to really discuss in this match, as 07 is gearing up, getting ready to do their 0 line push. Looks like it's going to be a hard stack in the A line, which, as we saw with Simp versus High Voltage, can be very hard to handle and very tricky to reset.
Mm-hmm.
High Voltage basically had to barrel through it with a Borzig and a big gun.
Yeah, and that's the only, really one of the main reasons why they were going to take that corner here. But now, 07, looks like they're positioning are well known to Game Over. They have started to move Gandorfo going by that D2 position. The rest of 07 now pushing through BR. Game Over taking a shot. Fosta, nothing connecting yet. ZXFT running back in that T37 to join Synergy over here in that AMX 100 and see how much, wow, getting through. Nice speed run through Orange Cataphract shot in that IS3, just missing that one there. Now pushing up to get a little bit of a cap pressure started. Looks like Game Over respond. Now, David, talking about the timing of what 07 was just doing there, if how sensitive is it? Like, if you mess it up, what is your margin of, like, well, we messed it up and now it's the whole thing's gone to scratch? Or is there still some grace with what they were doing?
Depends on the strategy. In this instance, waiting was good and bad. It can throw off the timing of Game Over. It can also give Game Over more time to adjust through deduction and through their own spotting cycles. So without something there to deliberately distract them, or without knowing that Game Over was going to camp hard, then that delay is not really worth it. Game Over is not necessarily the type of team to camp. Camping is not in their favor with their ping issues. Another team can poke a corner and fire before they even render half the time. For a team like Game Over. So Game Over has to kind of take the initiative and play a little bit more aggressively. They do have 2 IS3s in cap, kind of expanding upon some of the things we've seen here. They already have 2 IS3s underneath. Game Over's looking in strong position to start converting this into a win.
Here he goes as Rox takes a lot of damage in his IS-3, getting dropped to well below half health here. And now from the back, shots going through. Enrique Dante finding some more shots. Rox again, another shot going down to BR. Game Over, picking that one up. And IS-3 falling for 07. And now 07's trying to find this overmatch. Well, they can. Mako's coming in the corner, getting lit up in that 5100. But now Enrique Dante is the target. Fosta gonna take that one down. Gandorfo coming up from the back, sneaking his way through, and now trying to find some cheeky shots, but Mako shutting that one down, making sure he's not gonna do anything there. And 07 doing their best to find what they can over in the north. Here, Game Over found ZXF team, and now Fosta picking up Drac Hero Synergy extremely low. One more shot, he'll go down. He has one more shot. Oh no! Heish picks that one up before he can let that one fly. And now it is a 4-on-4. The HP over 1,000 in favor of Game Over as Mega picking up Fosta there. Now Warbander gonna be the next target. He is on reload in that IS-3. He has really as many places he can go. As Orange coming in the corner with a shot ready for him. Looks like he's gonna let it fly into Mako's, picking that one up. That one works as well. And now with Warbander taking some more shots, Camber finds BR Game Over. There's a 3-on-2, but soon should be a 3-on-1. There it is. Orange Cataphract picking up Warbander. And it's just Commodore remaining for the side of 07. Game Over should pick up this first victory of our third match of the night.
Game Over played very well there. Only some minor changes in my book.
Okay.
Backing off that corner where we're seeing this action take place now. Faster was probably the best call they could have made. Once they poked that 7 line and lit up the backside of that IS-3, they had to know 5100s are coming down on them. That was the time to back up. They knew there were 2 5100s coming to bail them out. Those 2 IS-3s could have lasted a little bit longer, done a little bit more damage, but overall they did exactly what they needed to do.
Woo.
Got the win.
Yeah.
07 not really playing strategically or individually as well as they could have or should have in that instance. Game Over the exact opposite, playing better strategically and better individually than we have seen them in a lot of instances.
Sure.
In fact, we can go to statistics.
Okay.
There's enough.
Show that.
There's enough. Commodore, for his team, 7 for 7, 25-70. And then Mako's Synergy directly behind him. Both of them getting at least 5 for 5 in. Good enough. Orange Cataphract leading up his team. A lot of times it's either him or Heish that kind of show up as some of the top players, that whole thing. And Heish, even though his numbers don't show it in this instance, his shots were super critical. He tracked a 5100 crossing that otherwise would have gotten away perfectly and put him down. And if it weren't for those shots, it would have been a very different game. Could have been a very different game.
Okay.
But Orange Cataphract, 10 for 8 for 7. It's one of those situations that we've talked about a number of times where statistics and the points they get in fantasy don't mean everything.
Right.
And in that match, Heish isn't going to get as many points as he should have,
but
for how critical that pickup he got was.
Right. Now, maybe go into a little more detail of what 07 was planning. When you put all those tanks on that O push, that 0 land push, what are you hoping the Game Over is not ready for?
I mean, you're either hoping that they're there just
sitting
open, and poking the corner irresponsibly or something.
Okay.
Or they had an overall plan of attack that just didn't work out. They didn't do it. It seemed strange. It seemed like it wasn't what they had planned. It seemed like they were debating it the whole time they were doing it. Unless there's a bunch of nuance there that I just didn't quite pick up on.
Okay.
It just didn't seem like 07, like a team that had practiced it or thought it out.
Sure.
But I mean, I guess not 07 is reaching a little bit. While they can play a very high level of game sometimes, they can also sometimes play a game that just leaves me scratching my head and wondering what they were possibly thinking. Last game is one of those times.
All right. Well, and also we saw Lamp start on Himmelsdorf last week, lose the first game from a very weird push, and then come back win 5 in a row. So again, 07 still definitely not out of this. As Game Over is now just up 1 game. Ladies and gentlemen, we're into our next battle. Same sides as last time. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, tanks fans, tankers galore. 07 and Game Over. Same lineups as last time. Same lineups as each other. 2 5100s, 4 IS-3s, and a T-37.
All right. And you know, one thing we kind of point out here, when you have identical lineups for both of the sides, it really does kind of come down to your strategy and also your tanking skill, because there's no really clear advantage right off the bat, for either team.
Yes. Yes. We'll go with that.
We'll go.
You know how my brain works.
Right. I know. I can't give you definitive answers.
Kinds of things.
Yeah.
Oh, trust me. I've had many people get very frustrated over that.
No.
In the past. I'm not going to get into that.
No.
I was about to start telling you a story that I really shouldn't be telling
you
on
guys are
air.
going to psychology match. It's fine.
No, it's not even that. It's just it's a crack in an ex-girlfriend that probably shouldn't be done.
Oh,
So,
okay.
4 IS-3s and
Good
2 5100s coming directly down the 8 line to T37. All for 07. This is a better plan of attack than last time. But not by a large amount at this point. If they can get more of that D-line presence than they had last time, not ball themselves up and put so many eggs in one single basket, then they'll be on a much higher level than they were before. But I really like what Game Over's doing here, for the most part. The one thing that I doesn't really sit well with me is the 2 IS-3s here, where we are Game Over and Orange Cataphract are. They are great if 07 does exactly this, but
this being just pushing in.
Yeah,
right now, bunching up.
So we've seen a T-37 get sacrificed there to give 1 IS-3 a haul down, right?
Right.
Well, in this instance, it's not all that different, except it's now 2 guns, so it's making it a more equal fight. However, they're both more vulnerable.
Whoa.
Oh, wait, now they're bringing a T-37 in to
Whoa.
block them both.
A shield
this is
for
a lot
2.
of resources for one position, honestly.
Meadowhawk
Wait.
getting a little aggressive there in his T-37, now exchanging 2 T-37s there. What was that push? It looks like he got a little too aggressive, as what it wasn't expecting to go up that far.
I think they already had him in motion to do that,
Oh.
to create, I don't know.
Another shield?
No.
Extending the wall out?
It can't be.
Is it going to
because
work?
They would want to do it right over here by where Commodore is,
Okay.
so that they could cover it more directly. Where he died, I just don't get it. I don't get it at all.
So there was, I mean, possibly, there is a certain strategy that he didn't just kind of suicide himself running out there. But it looks like they're just going to shoot right around him. The turret now facing both Orange and BR. Shots go into Game Over there. David, do you see something?
Maybe. I mean, his tank makes it really difficult to shoot that corner now.
Okay.
But I just don't know if that was the right way of going about it.
Gotcha.
It's something I'd have to test. It could be a moment of genius. It could just be a colossal mistake.
Okay.
I can't
All
rule
right.
on this
And
yet.
usually those two go hand in hand.
Yeah, and tanks, the only difference is whether you won or lost while you did it, honestly.
Oh, but here we go. Warbander and ZXFT popping out, trying to abandon that corner there, but being met with Mega. Is 5100 and Enrique Dante on the side. Warbander trying to find a little bit of safe haven in those fallen houses, but Enrique going to do a good job taking that out. Now, Mega, though, getting pushed out by ZXFT and Fosta. A shot going in there, 337 points, but Fosta game dropped to about half health in his IS-3. Commodore shooting against Enrique Dante. We have a little bit of a corner battle going here. 3 tanks for Game Over versus the 4 for 07, but Heish and his 5100 now coming to join the battle. Let's see who kind of comes out on top here. David, do you think we're going to be seeing, I mean, obviously, Game Over is the one on defense, so they shouldn't be getting aggressive here in this corner. But, would it be unlikely for them to just start pushing these 4 IS-3s? Do they have more? Oh, over on the side, Makos taking the shots in his 5100. Wow, getting extremely low, dropping down to 72 points of health. Having to back up there and BR Game Over, picking that one up as well. Game Over, 6 tanks to the side of 5 for 07. With the tank lead. HP, though, in favor slightly of 07 here, but Warbander making sure that it's now in favor of Game Over. Mega unloading the rest of that shot. Now is on the reload. Foster taking those down. David with Mega on the reload here. Is this a good time for 07 to push, or is this Game Over too established to defend this 5100?
There is no good time to push. I guess that was the best time.
I guess this is when they wanted to do it.
All
Heish
bad.
taking a lot of damage there. ZXFT, one more shot. He'll go down to Heish, who still has one more shot left. Gonna let it go into Fossa. Dracula on the hood deck. Enrique Dante taking Warbander down. 3 tanks falling in a row. A triple kill coming out for 07 there. Now just Commodore and Synergy remain. Commodore in that IS-3. 706. One more shot. Enrique Dante picking that one up. Just Synergy 3K in that 5100 left. And Game Over. Gonna pick up another battle on the defense for Himmelsdorf here.
Synergy 3K, nothing he can really do here. I mean, he pretty much has to stay on 1 cap. He could, I don't know, he could, I guess with enough speed, get over to the western cap. It's all irrelevant though. It's not like any of those tanks can't get to them by the time he's getting close to capping out. And he is not enough hit points here. Perhaps he can fight his way through Heish. That'd be interesting. He's taking an early turn, and Heish is going to see this coming.
And from the back, he just gets picked up the shot through the window. Actually missing another shot, missing from Mega. And a Synergy shot not connecting. That is not fortunate for that 5100. And Mega picking that one up now, increasing their lead 2-0 against 07. Now, David, you were saying how you liked in the beginning what 07 was doing. You liked it, I should say, better than what they did last time.
Yeah, well, definitely.
But you still did
like it.
Okay,
I just
liked it better.
better.
Okay, just still not something you were assuming. And what was it about that push that was so?
It's just something we've seen 100 times now. You know, this is the push that was what made Himmelsdorf debatably offensively advantaged in the beginning. But now that enough time has passed, as we've discussed a number of times here, it's not a strategy that people don't know how to handle anymore.
Right.
And even then, they're not running what that was well at all. It's just a mess. Well, it's just a mess. They're walking directly into a death trap time after time.
Yeah.
Game Over is not. They're not terrible. It's not like they can't see that coming.
Sure.
I mean, Silver League teams, Bronze League teams might be able to stop that kind of push coming, honestly. And I'm not trying to downplay Silver League, but it's not a difficult thing to stop. That's all I'm saying. Game Over, certainly good enough. I mean, we saw them take down Noble on Himmelsdorf a number of times.
Yeah.
I mean, that raises an entirely different question.
That's the thing.
Why didn't you ban Himmelsdorf away from Game Over? It's obviously been one of their best maps for the longest time now.
Good point. Well, one of the things I was going to say was this before you're saying the teams now know how to stop this push they're doing. But I remember we talked about in the beginning of the season when this push was going through. Some of the key things that the defending team had to do was get damage on them as they kind of crossed the courtyard gap there. It seems that that's no longer the case though. No damage even coming across. You can still deal with it.
No, it's still important to get it. It's just Game Over rotates back in enough time, and 07 isn't taking advantage of certain things in enough time for it to really work. And perhaps the two IS3s in the cap area are really shutting things down.
We'll see.
It requires further analysis.
We'll see,
There's
ladies.
definitely weaknesses to it.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, though, we have now switched sides. Game Over versus 07. Game Over up 2-0. Let's get into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
Same, and same.
Man.
And that's last match, each other, and
the first match.
And
right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. All matches. Everything's same.
So, 25100s, 4 IS3s, and a T37. Both sides on both sides of offense and defense, apparently. So, Game Over is playing very well compared to, I wouldn't necessarily say how we've seen them play before, but just sort of an objective standard. A lot of what I saw in the last match was very well handed off. Their damage across, I didn't really get into statistics there. There's Henrique Dante leading the team with close to 2K, and everybody on the team, aside from Gandorfo's T37, broke 1,000. In fact, most of them broke 1,500. So very well spread, very well coordinated.
Absolutely.
Just good play. This isn't a qualifier of better than before or better than, it was what was expected. This was just good.
Solid, good.
07 had that same spread, so their actual individual play in that last match was kind of fine. Just strategically, they were boxed in from the instant they tried to do anything. They're putting too many resources into too many places that are easily trapped, and they got shut down directly in the D-line. Because Game Over was just ready and waiting.
Sure. Now looking at what Game Over is doing here on their first side of offense of this battle, sending the tanks, 2 IS3s, up that 7-8 push, but keeping Mega back there. I believe the other 5100 just kind of sitting back and waiting, spread across the courtyard. What benefits does this have here for Game Over? Again, normally we see when we have these 2 IS3s pushing, there's the rest of the team there with him. What are these two tanks supposed to do? Like, what is their role right now?
Talking about Orange Cataphract,
and
Drag Hero. Their role looks like is to put on cap pressure in the typical way that we see. And those IS3s along the 0 line are going to help back them up to prevent them from getting kind of encircled.
Okay.
And Mega Man Arrow and Heish and the 5100s are down there in the G line in order to flank the incoming flank.
Okay.
So if 07 sends any tanks through the D line, they'll get ripped up by Mega and Heish. Theoretically, those shots are actually a lot harder to hit from down there than you would think, and perhaps I can give us a little bit of a view on that. Well, they're not even necessarily in the positions where they need to be.
They're still moving around.
They're in protective positions right now, defensive positions, and they are still moving around a little bit. I don't know why they're... Whoa. Okay, this is getting into a territory where I'm no longer comfortable with what they were doing before. I mean, it made a lot of sense, and this is still a bit of a trap. on that angle. It's also a huge problem. I mean, if Meadowhawk sees these two, just doing any exploratory moves whatsoever, the Mega Monero is dead. Flat out dead.
Really?
There's nowhere he can go at all. And that's anybody who shows up there to do damage to him will just take it while they focus down Mega, because it's a tank in hand for free.
Okay.
Also, when that split happens, Mega and Heish can delay the south side, and the 4 IS-3s up top can bully and try and push in through the north. But 07 right now is not falling for any of that.
No.
And I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. They are getting, they're having the 5 line taken away from them. Gandorvo is spotting the 3 line. It is again starting to tilt more and more, and even further right now into Game Over's favor, looking like they'll expand this into a 3-0 victory.
Well, let's see if they can. Some shots going out just nearly flying back Pasta. I believe Camador taking some shots here up the hill onto the 2 IS-3s. Enrique Dante and BA Game Over just on the other side of the corner of the road and cap here. Try and do their best to put that pressure on. Fosta getting lit up, 734, 1,200 points of damage in that IS-3. He will go down. Drag Hero picking that one up. And a nice early, not early, but a nice pickup there for Game Over. Here comes the rest of 07 just being extremely aggressive. They're trying to find any sort of pickup that they can, but coming to the corner, they found 2 5100s. Synergy picking and taking down Heish, and now Mega running to find the rest of his team to safety, but getting tracked. A beautiful shot there. I believe they came out there from Synergy. Now Synergy picking up BR Game Over, but there is 20 seconds on the cap, and 07 not looking like the best position to defend this. Gandorf coming in at T37, maybe to try and buy some more time. Orange Cataphract coming on the side. Shot going into Meadowhawk. Gandorf, though, going against the T37. The T37 battle has begun, ladies and gentlemen, down here in the corner. And it looks like Gandorfo might be going down. Meadowhawk should come out on top of this. One more shot. He will get it. Let's see if Gandorfo can find. No, Gandorfo picks that one up. A nice chunk there going out there in that T37. And Gandorfo proving that he is the master of this T37 battle. Mako's coming in the corner, but he is on reload, so he can't do anything to Gandorfo until his, it looks like, Mako's 6 seconds is up, and then he'll be able to pick it up. But Gandorfo doing a good job trying to avoid it. 10 seconds, though, on the cap there from 07 Gaming. Let's see how Makos is going to respond to this Warbander. Picks up Gandorfo with a moment. He comes around corner, getting lit up from all the members of Game Over. But Makos actually finds Mega. And now the cap going back up to 30 seconds. Another shot back to 60, down to 30. The resets coming up for 07 Gaming. Doing a good job trying to stall this now, trying to claw the way back, finding the kills where they need them. Game Over now just down to 2 tanks. Drac picking up Synergy, but Enrique Dante and Drac here are extremely low. There is a 2-on-4, ladies and gentlemen, in favor heavily for 07. They're collapsing now onto Enrique Dante, ZXFT, and Camador. 2 IS-3s against 1 low health. The shot actually from ZXFT bouncing. Luckily, Camador was there to pick that one up. And now Drac Hero gonna find Warbander. Looks like no, Warbander, ladies and gentlemen, is gonna find him. And 07 picking up their first victory of the match against Game Over now. Looks like both these teams, both these lineups so far have been in favor of defense going through. Or maybe that's just some crazy strat, but so far, yeah, going now back and forth in favor of 07.
Well, we have a battle.
That's true.
It's no longer a sweep. That's for certain.
Yeah.
We'll go to statistics very quickly.
Okay.
Then I'll touch on something that happened. It was pretty interesting. Camador. I don't know why I'm saying Game Over. 997 with his IS-3. Very well done there. Makos, very, very, very critical shots from Makos. Stepping around the corner and saving the game. 65 defensive points that are the most critical defensive points in a while, for sure. Synergy as well. And the rest of the team, nothing of particular note. Mega Monero, a perfect 6, 1900. He got them all out before he went down. And he drove straight through the opponent.
Yeah.
To get to safety, which was super important. Heish did not. Heish only got 3 out, and that is perhaps a significant part of why they lost.
Okay.
Now, both teams making huge mistakes all over the place, just all over the place.
Okay.
But one thing I saw that was very good, and it also rides on the back of something very bad.
Okay.
Game Over had to kill one of the 5100s from 07 when they rounded that corner in the 5 line. Had to.
Okay.
No doubt about it.
Right.
You can't let him go through that many guns. 4 IS-3s. And 2 5100s. And live. All that damage was spread. Now, those 5100s backed off the corner when the best thing they could do is actually shove the corner back. Keep all of those guys who were trying to file into the 5 line in the open,
Okay.
where all 4 of your IS-3s can punish them.
Sure.
Get those track shots in the first guys that are following. Bully them with the front of your tank. You either need to be gone or in
Or
their
in.
face. The
Sure.
in the middle, death. And
All
Mega
right.
tried his best. Heish just didn't get out.
Well, 07 picking up a much-needed victory there. Now making it to 1-2, ladies and gentlemen. We are on the same sides of the last battle for this map, for our third match of the night. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
Again, same lineups.
Man.
5100s, 2 of them. 4 IS-3s and a T-37 from both sides. So, while we've got a second, I'll finish up what I was saying before. Because I said something very good that went hand in hand with something very bad, that distracted myself and only talked about the bad. I don't want to do that.
No.
What was very good for 07 is when they rounded that corner, both their IS-3s and both their 5100s all shot Heish at the same time, and he popped. Just boom, over. That's proper focus fire. That's what Game Over needed to do to them, and that is exactly what led to sort of a cascade effect of them being able to come back from that match.
Okay. So they really didn't, capitalize. We talked about, one thing that's very critical in World of Tanks is to capitalize on the mistakes that your opponent makes. 07 doing a good job there. And now it looks like we have a very similar strategy again coming out for Game Over, sending this time 3 members up the 7-8 line. The 2 IS-3s as before, Orange Cataphract and Dracaro, but this time they are joined by Gandorfo in that T-37.
And the flankers are IS-3s, Henrique, Dante, and BR Game Over there in the south. And the 2 5100s are on hills. This is, It looks the same at first glance, but it is very different fundamentally upon further review. Now, here's another timing advantage we can get. Mega Monero and Heish just now starting to get ready to check over the 0 line. 5:45 being the time on that. And that was with burning a solid 5, 6, 7 seconds, waiting at the berm while they loaded and made sure it was safe.
Ooh. Orange Cataphract now and Fossa exchanging some shots in those IS-3s. Now this does look similar. So, Orange Cataphract being spotted out there, Fossa still being spotted. Now looking at, like we were saying, even though at first glance Game Over's positionings look similar, the tanks they've used for those positions are extremely different. But Orange Cataphract being spotted out there, 07 now sees, do you think that maybe, it's the IS-3, they're running the same exact thing as before? Do you think that might be exactly what 07's thinking right now? Is this sort of mind game Game Over might be playing, or?
I mean, perhaps, but they're about to find out that is not the truth here in a second.
There we go.
IS-3s.
Wow.
It's a cheeky little spot from Meadowhawk. Nice way of spotting the D-line, but without really risking himself. Don't see that too often. Nice job.
There we go. Looks like we have a T-37 now being a shield for the other side. Look like maybe this is the better position that we're looking for this T-37. Now Fossa, not quite taking the shot yet. Getting pegged by Gandorfo there. Finds some more damage going out. And Fossa, I'm not sure why he's just holding on to the shot. I don't know if it's because he doesn't have a clear shot. There it is. Finding Gandorfo, but now Gandorfo is the shield. Fossa extremely low in that IS-3. Orange Cataphract picking that one up. And now, with the pressure on, looks like they're going to have 2 tanks, Dracaro and Orange, and we have the other tanks coming down from the A line for Game Over. The question is going to be, how is 07 going to respond to this? Because I'm not sure.
They're going to lose Warbander really soon if he doesn't get out of the open. Mega Monero and Heish. Wait, there he is. Heish is way, way back. I'm not entirely sure why, but they've got him dead to rights. These IS-3s are about to proxy spot him, and then it should be GG picking up 2 tier 8s very early for Game Over, while the 5100s for 07 are taking a little bit too long to flank.
Oh, there it is, though. Warbander now taking the damage, going across, finding BR Game Over. Some damage. Camador now going to be the next focus in his IS-3. 10 seconds on the clock. Warbander has to get over. ZXFT's shot is reloading. It might be up in time. There's the nice reset going on there, but it's still going to 14 seconds, and here's the response. ZXFT and Makos coming back, trying to find some damage here. Warbander coming across, trying to use his teammate as shield so he cannot shoot each other. Orange Cataphract being the focus there. Can't go anywhere with Warbander. Makos picking up another kill. Another IS-3 going up in Heish, responding there extremely quickly, and now it looks like Game Over has free reign of this Northern Cap. 15 seconds, ZXFT and Makos coming in the corner with synergy there. Meadowhawk backing off in the T-37, but he's not going to have time to get around, so ZXFT and Gang better find the resets, or this will be Game Over for 07. 6 seconds are on the clock. Coming in the corner, Synergy taking the shot. The shot actually bouncing. Now it's down to 3 seconds. They need to find it. There it is on the Game Over. Synergy, though, extremely low. One more shot, and he'll go down. Makos fighting BR Game Over. And now ZXFT come around the corner as Synergy gets picked up. It's a 3-on-4. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock. So Game Over have plenty of time to assault this. Makos with just one more shot. He takes that into Mega, but now he is on a long reload there. Meadowhawk doing as much annoying damage as he can on the resets. Doing a good job in that T-37, find the tanks that he needs to find. But The overmatch is in favor of Game Over here. ZXFT, couple more shots, and he'll go down. Enrique Dante has his shot loaded, ready to go. Mega also letting that one fly. Nice double tap there coming out for Game Over. And Enrique Dante shielding that kill. Meadowhawk again in C37 on the run. Drag Hero takes the corner, lines the shot up, a shot missing there, but another one going through. Enrique Dante actually killing Mega. Friendly fire going off there. Hey, type an O for oops there on that one. Makos almost reloaded in his 5100. Meadowhawk on the run. 3 tanks to 2. 5100 is fully loaded, but extremely low. Enrique Dante lining up the shot. Let's see, no, lets it fly just too late. 30 seconds now on the Northern Cap. Let's see if Drag Hero is going to go ahead and join them. Or just stay. Yeah, he's going to join them now, pushing the time even lower, dropping it to 14 seconds. It's up to 07 to respond to this. The question is, can they?
Not really.
I don't think
Meadowhawk will potentially get one shot in here, but it'll be the craziest shot of all time.
Here we go, coming through. 1 more second, lining it up. He doesn't connect. Drag Hero punishes for it. The clock goes to 0, ladies and gentlemen, and that's another victory for Game Over going against 07 here. Up now 3-1 as we're finishing off Himmelsdorf going into our next map, our third matchup of the night. I mean, we were talking about how, Game Over, if they could, if they are going to play the way that we've seen them play when they go, they really just bring it. They have proven that right now, and they're doing a great job putting 07 in their place.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a match of statistics. Not a whole lot to cover here. I'm just going to point out ZXFT did the most for 07 with 1900. Mega Monero did the most for Game Over with 2247.
Yeah, it's kind of coming down to that.
It's just amazing to me that the Game Over was able to collapse on those positions, to see what they had coming to begin with. There was just strategic advantage from move 1.
Okay.
A lot of the stuff they did, I don't know if it necessarily should have been able to get to where it was going, but once they got there, once they had the fights, it was mostly well executed. Kind of messy there at the end. Yeah. I'm amazed that anybody actually survived long enough to reset the 25100s.
Okay.
Which was strange, and plus the team kill. Can't just let the team kill off the hook.
No.
But overall there, just 07 does not look put together tonight.
Sure.
At all.
Well, one other thing we saw the T37 now on the side of the offense going to the corner position to block the cap there instead of the defenders using that. Is that something you think might be a key into helping attack this northern position, or is
that's not new? We just haven't really focused on it that much.
Okay.
It's something we took for granted in the beginning. When teams were doing that cap, a lot of times the T37 died there.
Okay.
Some people did it backwards, and they'd have an IS-3 try and stop it, and they tucked their tier 6 behind that. But that was before people started using that spot right next to cap.
Okay.
Where Game Over was using 2 tanks. And if you're going to actually just sacrifice a T37, I don't think directly on the inside of that corner is the best way to do it. Over the corner, where the turret covers, a little bit better. Without the visuals, this isn't unfortunately that efficient, but we can't get to those at the moment, especially considering we just changed maps.
Yep.
And it looks like we're moving on to steps again. What
Steps
is with steps today?
Steps was the map of the night. Do you think it's because we didn't see it we didn't see it much last week, and now people are like, hey, we practiced it. Let's give it a whirl.
I guess, I don't know. Maybe they saw some people do some proper breaks from the offensive side, and they figure it's a good map.
We can do it.
This is not a map where you can just be mediocre. Steps is a map where you have to be excellent, or you're going to get ruined.
Okay.
And just don't go into that map unless you know exactly what you're doing. And so far today, we've only really seen, I think, one team that had it completely down pat. Elevate did fairly well, but High Voltage was a lot more put together overall. Just don't know why it's being played so much. This would be hands down one of the main maps that I would ban.
Okay.
Every single time.
Well, we are seeing maybe a key to this offensive break onto steps is the artillery being brought. So let's see if either one of these teams brings in who knows? Maybe either one of these teams, either 07 or Game Over has done some crazy research, watched some other streams, and is going to bring some amazing break of the defense or offense we haven't seen before.
07 probably let this one go through on purpose.
Okay.
Why Game Over didn't ban it would be confusing to me. But this is a map that we saw Game Over in a very similar situation. They were doing fairly well in Himmelsdorf, and then they lost on steps.
Okay.
I think the last time we saw them play, wasn't it? It was very recently, either way.
So maybe that's...
So it's a map that looked very weak for them.
All right, so maybe this is 07's
perhaps
pick.
this is what 07 needs.
Let's see if Game Over was it was a mistake of them not banning it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're into our next battle. 07 versus Game Over on steps. Game Over starting out on the defense, 07 on the offense. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
07 with 2 T-32s, 4 T-54 lightweights, and an AMX-12T. Game Over with a T-32. Okay, freak out a little bit more there, keyboard. Game Over with a T-32, 2 RU-251s, and 4 T-54 lightweights, along with a T-37. Well, finally we're seeing different lineups at least.
Sure.
That's worth noting.
Yeah, they're now not the same.
What I find a little bit strange here is 07 is on offense, and they brought the 2 T-32s. While Game Over's on defense, and they only brought 1.
Okay.
Are they doing the boost?
Yep,
That's the big
they
question
are.
here.
Drac Hero is boosting. They're
Okay.
putting an RU-251 on top. David.
Yes, that's the classic tank to put up there. It's got more. It's got enough depression to make it effective from up there. The heat round isn't so bad when you're firing it from that angle. It's got a fairly high DPM. Plus, it can get down from there a little bit easier. And once it travels from point A to point B, it's faster than T-54 lightweight. So many teams are using that as the tank to boost.
Okay.
Those are the reasons.
Okay. That makes sense. Some shots now go ahead. And Warband, it looks like he possibly just blind firing, making sure that if the boost did happen, that he could get some shots there. But no damage so far from that T-54 lightweight. Now Meadowhawk staying back in the southern corner in that J5 position, making sure there's no flanks coming out for a Game Over. But Game Over on defense, on steps. And now, like we were saying, yeah, it has been a weak map that we've seen so far in the season, but with it being so heavily in the favor of defense, I mean, if they just need to hold for 2, and that's gonna be their 5 victories.
Exactly. I mean, that's kind of what I was saying. To me, it doesn't matter how weak an opponent looks on a map like Steps, unless I was extremely confident in my ability to beat anybody, not just one team. Anyone, because who knows whether Game Over practiced this all last week and came back 10 times stronger.
Sure.
It would certainly make sense. If they had a weak showing, it'd be one of the maps you'd want to focus on.
Absolutely.
So I don't know. Unless I was absolutely comfortable beating a team, any team, this is not a map that I would necessarily go to. But I'm not in charge of either of these teams.
This is true, David. This is true. Now, what instead of Steps, what would be a map you think would be more beneficial to, let's say, Game Over in this instance?
Maybe Ghost Town.
Okay.
Some map we've seen him play a number of times. It is anything city-based. They seem to be a lot better at that than they are in the open maps. Strangely, because Steps was actually one of their better maps during qualifiers.
Oh, that's true. I totally forgot about that.
It is the 1390 wave, which is easy to predict and see coming, and that can kind of be a problem with it. So it's not something I would expect them to keep doing or even suggest anybody keep doing. But it seemed like they were very comfortable with it before. Maybe not so much now. However, they've got a little bit more of a standard spread. Orange Cataphract is in the pit by himself, but he does have Drac Hero there to protect him in the event anybody's pushed up and over. So as long as Drac can get that damage converted, then it'll be worth. But right now, 07 not doing anything fancy. Just getting on cap. Wouldn't be surprised to see Meadowhawk get blind fired from where he is. He's using one of the better spots overall.
Okay.
This is kind of like this northwestern corner of things. It's one of the harder ones to see. It's also one of the harder ones to blind fire, as you can see the angles here. Doesn't necessarily line up with those 54 lightweights as easily, and I can't draw a line on the map. Let me see if the lasers
cap fast.
Nope.
2 tanks now, and look like Warbander's going to join them. No, he's they might be putting 3 tanks onto the offense there for 07, but it's down to 9 seconds. Game Over have to pop out and take these shots, and they need to do it quickly, or they're going to lose the game. Finally, a shot going into the synergy. 2 shots, 524 points of damage just left on that tank. And the reset, exactly what they need. Now pushing 07 off of the cap. Mega, I believe that was Mega with the shot there. A nice pickup there, exactly what Game Over needed. The question is, where are they going to take it from here? Let's see if they use this advantage. They now have to go back onto it, or if they might just do another. It's Camador picking up Orange Cataphracted tank now also going down for the side of Game Over. 7 on 6. We are Game Over. Clawing back, trying to respond, taking out Fossa. Camador getting killed as well. 2 tanks down for the side of 07, or Game Over. Just 1 for the side of 07. A little bit of dance going on here over the center here. Mega and Heish circling around of Warbander and Mako taking a nice shot onto Meadowhawk there, and now onto Synergy as they try to cross the railroad tracks Drac Hero in that RU-251. Let's see how much damage he can be doing before he has to get off that hill, off that boost position, and get into the fight. 6 members of 07 now coming from the defensive side against Game Over there. Gandorfo taking 252 points of damage in his T-37. And now, I think it's a little bit of a slow dance back around the other side. Mega popping up, taking the shot. Nothing connecting there. ZXF team fighting Henrique Dante by the rocket. Now Meadowhawk looks like he's sent off by himself to deal with Gandorfo as the rest of the fight taking place over on the side. Meadowhawk coming around the corner. Damage going off to Mega. Makos picking that one up. And now Synergy coming to join the fight. Gamador getting low himself. But just 3 tanks remain for the side of Game Over. Gandorfo taking more and more in that T-37, trying to run Heist, taking a bit of damage himself. Couple more shots left in that 12T. One more to be in fact. 138, not enough to shut that one down. But it should be enough to win the game for 07 here, as they still have 6 tanks left on their side against just the 3 of Game Over.
It is true they need to get cap pressure on quickly, though, because Game Over is very spread out, and it would be very difficult to chase them all down and get those kills in the remaining minute and 15 seconds.
This is true.
Roughly. However, a cap is very simple. You can screen out the 2 biggest threats, Heish and Gandorfo. They know where Gandorfo is. It's not too long until they know where Heish is, so it should be in the bag. Drac Hero can't even fire that far. He's been up there for a very long time.
Oh, there we go. Meadowhawk picking up Gandorfo now over on the side. The reset going through, but he's dropping back down to 8 seconds left. Drac Hero needs to pull out a miracle here. Heish finding Makos. A nice pickup there, but Gamador taking down Heish. If Drac can just hit maybe a few more, he might be able to salvage this. Let's see. Oh, just barely missing. Looking for Synergy there. Cap going down to 0 seconds off. One more shot. Nothing connecting. Very unfortunate there from Game Over. And 07 picking up a victory on offense on the steps now. Trying to claim, or trying to shorten that deficit gap there. Now just 1 victory down. David, the one thing that I was pointing out at the beginning of this match, I believe it was Elevate and Rival. We saw, Rival trying to do this, going for this Northern cap and saying how I didn't quite understand why we see teams doing it, and it really doesn't work out unless there's that cap fast there. But that was kind of a very interesting Northern cap pressure that then switched. We had 07 then coming from the side of defense, Game Over on the offensive side. That was just chaos.
Chaos is the only way to describe that whole match. I was sitting here thinking that I was desperately trying to find some sort of cohesive plan that was going on there.
Just
from I want to say either side. In the beginning that existed.
Okay.
Game Over needed to go ham, basically get the reset, because, well, I really don't know why. They didn't have to. They just didn't have the right equipment, didn't have the right knowledge about how to reset that something. Because it was firmly within their grasp to be able to do so. So they had to go crazy for it. And then after that, yeah, it was relative chaos. Drac Hero missing a lot of shots from that position. He still led his team with nearly 2,000 damage.
Okay.
But 36 shots, 15 hits.
Wow.
And out of those 15 hits, 8 penetrated. So that's a lot of heat shell dissipating into tracks and things of the nature. Perhaps, well, we can spitball all day about different ways he should have done it. I saw a number of big misses where he's busy rocking back and forth not to get shot back. And that was really kind of the lower of concerns that he should have had at the time. Whatever. Can't focus on him all day.
No.
Game Over made a number of mistakes there, and it worked out significantly in 07's favor. Interestingly, Drac did have the range to shoot some of the tanks that were still on cap because they weren't on the back half of the cap. They're literally pushing the maximum render distance or damage distance of that shell.
Wow. So if they would have backed off, it would have been way safer.
They had to move more towards Drac to get away from Heish's angle.
Oh,
and then after Heish died, they needed to get away from Drac because Drac was shooting absurdly close.
If he had a couple more of those shots, getting those resets, I mean, that could have been the game there.
Heish's reset was just out of this world, though. I mean, that was blind, completely blind. He just sent it, and it's a narrow corridor, and it's not a bad shot to take, but still, I mean, huge.
So if you're the tank that's been boosted up, so in this case the RU-251, we're talking about the differences between the T-4 lightweight and the RU-251 being up there, but either tank, whenever you're up there, and obviously the team is going for the Northern Cap and they're not going for the Eastern Cap, when is that decisive moment where you go, all right, I'm off this hill and I'm now joining the fight?
Much later than you would think.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
In that instance, he never needed to come down. In fact, it looked like he was going to for a second.
And
in my head, I was like, no, stay up where you are, because by the time you get to that fight, it's over. He wanted to get closer to help out and do more damage directly. But like I said, by the time he got all the way down to that,
Sure.
he would have done more damage just staying up where he was, even
Okay.
if the shots are bad, even if he is missing a number of them. Because with his lag, and I mean, well, I may be pointing out that he missed a lot of shots. I don't even know if I would hit shots with the kind of ping and
Yeah, the
latency
way they
he
play is
probably has.
amazing.
So it's mind-boggling. Masochistic almost. I don't know why I wouldn't do it. It just sounds like pure pain.
Just don't.
Anyways, so what you're saying is when do they come down? We'll get back to that after we read these lineups, I think.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're into our next battle, Game Over versus 07. We're on the same sides. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
6 T-54 lightweights for 07 with a T-37. Game Over with a T-37 or a T-32 and a T-37 and an RU-251 and 4 T-54 lightweights.
Wow. 07 with a lot of those T-54s. Now, when we see the kind of speed of lineup, is this kind of indicative of them going toward the Eastern cap?
You're talking about 07?
07, yeah.
I wouldn't say this many T-54s is indicative of anything. In this case, they are going to the Eastern cap. So perhaps you're just more pro than I am. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
But,
that is definitely not the case.
Realistically, 54 lightweights can go anywhere, so
Okay.
I don't think it necessarily heralds anything in particular.
Gotcha.
In terms of getting back to that question of when do you come down, you are, as long as you have a spread defense control, the typical defense we've seen on steps here,
Okay.
there's no need for you to come down pretty much ever unless things are going wrong.
Wow. Okay. Well, here we go. Now it looks like a fight is about to happen any second here as 6 members of 07 as Meadowhawk is in the center road there, coming over to this eastern side of the cap, driving right on by Mega. Looks like he took a shot into Foster there. Let's see where they continue from here. They're just driving straight on that road. Not sure what their plan is. Let's see what happens. ZXFT stopping, taking a shot there. Nothing connecting. Now Foster popping up the top. 267 going into that T-54. Orange Cataphract taking a little bit of response. The RU-251 Drag Hero up on top of the hill. Let's see how well this goes for them. As 07 and Game Over now, or 07 in a very interesting position. Not something we see too often here coming out from offense. Very interested to see where this goes. ZXFC taking some more damage there from BR Game Over. More taking some shots there. And now the rest of 07 coming over on the side, looking for Gandorfo. Gandorfo that just needs to go down into the valley there. Now he is out of harm's way, and more damage going there for 07, who is falling below in HP lead. Orange Cataphract finding Meadowhawk, the first tank going down. It is just a T-37, but again, in a fight like this, head-to-head, you want every gun that you can take. Orange Cataphract now going to be the focus in this T-32. One more shot, he'll go down. ZXFT going to take that one, and now Mega taking some damage there in his T-54 lightweight. Fosta, the response, back and forth damage here coming out from both of these teams. Tanks for both sides have fallen. It is a 6-on-6 now. But, you know, looking at these positions, David, looking at kind of what 07 and what Game Over are doing right now, who would you rather be?
Oh, that is incredibly difficult.
Oh, man.
Honestly, I would have rather have been 07 about 30 seconds to a minute ago.
Okay.
But right now, everything makes me uncomfortable. All of it.
All right, Henrique Dante getting extremely low there. ZXFT finding Mega. David, it might not have been a bad choice to go into 07 after all, as another tank for Game Over falling down and Drag Hero taking some more damage. Everyone is extremely low. ZXFT being the next person to be focused. Let's see 07's response. Cameron finds Henrique Dante. Drag Hero picking up Makos, and now BR Game Over pushing over, trying to find a shot into ZXFT. He takes it, and now has to be careful as he barely dodges the shot from that T-54 Heish. Coming up to Bully, Fosta gets the ram. No, just barely missing the ram damage. And Synergy and Commodore back-to-back kills, fighting BR Game Over. And now let's see what happens with Fosta and Heish here. Heish gonna find Fosta, but now he is the only one alive. And Game Over gonna be going down. 07 picking up 2 victories on offense against Game Over, tying it back up 3-3. And David, now it looks like you're the pro. You chose 07. That was the right choice in that circumstance.
Well, they did a lot of what they needed to do from what we've talked about in the past to get into position to do the damage they needed to.
Okay.
And there was a moment there, I was probably saying it out loud, I honestly have no idea, where 07 was pulling up to the berm and they think it was Fosta was in the lead. And I was saying, no, slower, slower.
You're like, slow down.
Because what I've seen the mistake happen a number of times is the guy in the lead thinks everybody's a little bit closer to him than they actually are.
Just goes.
And on the minimap, it looks like he's a lot closer, unless you're using mods, which they can't. It's illegal. So they aren't.
Right.
And unless you pan around, which is not necessarily a good idea in that instance, it's a good way to run into people accidentally or drive off something that you couldn't immediately see that's a ledge or just get shot in general.
Right.
You need to stay focused. So you go up and over, and you're basically by yourself. and you just get annihilated right off the
No
bat.
bueno.
So in this instance, they pumped the brakes. I don't think they found the exact angle they needed to, a number of them.
But he didn't die immediately.
But they didn't die. So that is a huge, huge advantage
That's the
over
best
what could
part.
have happened. And it was about halfway to being very, very, very good. They got the T-32 down, which is hands down the biggest threat. And after that, they started whittling it back and forth. Now, if you were a viewer in that instance, you could probably see Game Over. Well, everybody sort of finding these little areas where they could pop up and shoot the other guy.
Yep. Yeah.
And you notice the person they're shooting was loaded, wouldn't fire back. Well, I was thinking this in my head. There is no way, unless we get a first-person mode where you can see directly what they see, which I believe we're working on, but we don't have it yet. There's no way to see exactly how crazy that of a fight that is, unless you go in there and you play it yourself in the game. Until you see it first person
all over
from
the
like
place.
the low slung position of a T-54, it looks flat. It looks flat from our angle. It's not. It's not at all. It's like perfect hull down for 54s and all sorts of weird little places that you can't visibly see from above.
Chaos.
You can only see it by being there in that spot. So people poking up and shooting each other, and it's just from our angle, it's like, wow, how do you get away with that?
Lots of hills.
Lots of hills.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we are tied up 07 versus Game Over. Now, just 2 defensive wins for 07, and they'll take it. Let's get right into it and see if they can do that, or if Game Over can win some on offense on the steps. Ladies and gentlemen, we are into the battle. David, what do we got for tanks?
07 on defense with 2 T-32s, 4 T-54 lightweights, and an AMX-12T. Game Over on offense with an RU-2515, 5 T-54 lightweights, and a 5916. Can Game Over perform as well on offense as 07 did? That is going to be the question of the next 2 matches, quite honestly. And it will decide. Now, Game Over has to win 2 on offense, not to go to a tiebreaker, right?
Right.
It's different ways of looking at things. That may seem obvious, where if both teams technically win 1, then it goes to a tiebreaker, right? But when you're in the player's shoes, what you see it as for Game Over is they need to win 2 on offense, whereas 07 just needs to essentially not lose
2 on offense.
Or 1, right, if they go to a tiebreaker. I don't think either of these teams want to go to a tiebreaker. It's significantly more important for 07, I believe, although Game Over is down there in relegation, or potential relegation, so this is actually very important for both teams. But 07 could get into playoffs with their current points. They need every point they can get.
So they really don't want this to go.
Especially after what happened with some of the earlier matches.
So they definitely really don't want this one to go into a tiebreaker situation. Shots already being fired for both of the team, and Gandorfo for Game Over starting that Northern Cap defense, cap number 1. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, Henrique Dante pushing over onto the railroad tracks. Kind of a typical position we've seen them go before to make sure they can punish anyone who tries to pop over and reset what Gandorfo is trying to do. The rest of Game Over kind of spread down over here in the center bit of the map. Meadowhawk in that 12T. In a bit of a spotting position. Doesn't think he has not been spotted himself. The light bulb by his tank is not on. Warbandit, though, however, is spotted, and he's taking a good chunk of damage. That T-54 having to back off there. And the cap pressure continuing to build up. Looks like ZXFT, Game Over, and Synergy, as well as Warbandit, all kind of with the same idea, trying to find the shots on the Gandorfo. Just a miss there. That guy literally
just enough to get in cap. Nice and lined up in between this opening that we see directly down the middle of the screen where resets can come from.
Wow.
And then far enough outside of the view range of the T-32s and everything, they can't necessarily spot them unless I think they might be able to do it with binoculars if they sit up there. Bayark Game Over getting lit up
and
for that foray.
And Henrique Dante going down Magos, and ZXFT finding Gandorfo and Bayark Game Over. 2 more kills going out onto the side of 07 there, taking down now what is a 6 on 5 in favor of 07.
So as I suspected, one of the T-32s for 07 has binoculars. That's the XFT. So what we saw is Gandorfo getting away with quite a bit for a little while.
Oh, until he decided to pop up.
And then, 07 was like, okay, there's somebody back there. Let's go ahead and risk the T-32 staying on top long enough to get binos up.
Right, because it takes a while to set them up.
Boom, yes, a couple seconds. So once the XFT saw, or once he deployed the binoculars, essentially, Gandorfo got lit, killed immediately.
Yeah.
And there you go. North Cap doesn't survive
Gone.
against a 32 with binos unless you can punish the 32 enough for doing it. This is it ties back into why I think the M44 is useful. Perhaps, I don't know. It's this map, man. This map is just hard
just ban
to play. Nah, I mean, it's not like it's unplayable. It's just hard to play. And it would require, I think it gets into an area where it requires too much time investment to get good at it. And you'd be better off spending that time coming up with multiple strats on maps that are a little bit more favorable to you.
Right. And
a little bit less harsh to play. And then just ban it.
Sure. Do you think that there's or maybe you can tell me of experience of when you were, in the pro leagues playing this game? Is there a time where you guys get together before the season even starts and goes, all right, this map we're just gonna forget about, and we will always ban it out?
Well, it depends on the season whether you even know what maps you're gonna play in enough time to really do that kind of thing. But yeah, there's a certain period of time. It's usually decided at least by qualifiers, I believe. And you get enough time. So yes, you could theoretically do that, but I don't think any team out there really just decides I don't want to play this map ever. I think that's something they come across later in the season when they've played it. And all their
this isn't good for us.
All their initial instincts, they end up finding out, well, we suck at this map. Let's never play it
never
again.
Play it. Right. Okay.
Whether that's true or not, I mean, there's always at least one map that gets in players' heads where they're just like, we're just bad at this map, and then strategically they're not. They just somehow manage to throw it every time they play it. So I guess, I mean, that is an element of being bad, I guess, but it's more of a psychological thing than a realistic thing.
Sure.
Talking while a lot of damage has gone out, Enrique, Dante, Heish, Mega, all getting shot. Not really, honestly, no real need to cover every single blow-by-blow here. Game over, squirming under the thumb of 0-7. 0-7 has perfect control for what they need to be doing right now. They could do with having the Meadowhawk 12T still alive. Actually, Synergy 3K is in a precarious position. Caught between Enrique, Dante, and Mega Monero and Heish, but he's playing fairly well, and the rest of the team may be able to capitalize on it.
Let's see if he can. Doing a good job kind of bouncing back and forth. Really shot. No, he gets tracked. Mega going to pick that one up. He survived just for a little bit over by that WGLNA sign in the center, but now he is down and smoking. Let's go over and see what Drac is up to in the RE251, and if Game Over really has anything to do, because it's just a minute and 15 seconds left in the entire map. They need to either put 3 members onto cap and make sure that 0-7 can't reset, or just go for the kill. Looks like they're going to go for the cap pressure. Not sure that's going to be enough against 0-7. Enrique Dante taking some damage in his T54. A couple more shots. He'll go down. Here we go. Mega now joining the Orange Cataphract and Drac. 3 members on the cap fest, ladies and gentlemen, have been initiated. The question is, can they do it? 23 seconds on the clock. I mean, man, 0-7 just to get one more. That is exactly what 0-7 needed there. Mako's taking it a kill, but they still do have 2, so it still is technically in favor of 0-7 as far as if no K. Camador taking the shot, or taking Enrique Dante down, Drac Hero getting shot. Now they do not have enough time on the cap, I believe, even with the grace period. Actually, they might with the grace period have enough time, but again, 0-7 just to get them set. Now they definitely don't have enough time. Warbander picking up Heish. More tanks falling. Drac Hero still getting picked up. 0-7 should pick up this victory on defense. Now, you know what, David? I'm going to very confidently say they will pick up this victory on defense.
Even I won't nitpick certainty at this point. It is over.
It is over.
I'll come out and say it.
There you go.
Mako's position.
Go Orange.
Well,
it's over.
Game's over. Can't really talk about it now. It's just the position you went to. Wasn't going to criticize him for it. Just going to say, every time I've seen anybody go there, they've gotten lit up.
Okay.
So maybe it's not the best position overall. What you see is what you get with that one. Overall strategy just not working out for Game Over. Didn't have a prepared assault ready. So let's go to statistics, because
do it.
Nothing else to talk about strategically. Makos leading up his team. 23 shots overall, 11 hits, 9 penetrations. A lot of those going to be blind fire. I'm not going to read too much into it. From a distance of 300, 824. Damage caused with your assistance, LOL. Okay, so Fosta, 21 shots, 6 hits, 6 penetrations. Just really, what's worth highlighting here, all spread, all going according to plan. 6 FT, who got all the reset points? Looks like Camador and Warbander got theirs. That's everything that was necessary to get all those points reset there. Mega Monero, you know, he was in a very precarious position for a long time, and I thought he should have gone down earlier, but he got nearly, over 1,000 damage done deliberately due to his assistance, and then the rest of the team sort of just kind of floundering, looking for a way in.
Yeah.
Like I said, not really much to talk about strategically, because there just wasn't a whole lot of new strategy there. It was just sort of a half thought out, a half practiced attempt at something that didn't really measure up in the end.
Sure. Now, again, it's, when you do this, obviously we're talking about maybe Steps is a weak map for Game Over, and it's seeming the more we're kind of playing it as that is turning out to be the case. But I guess my question was going to be why go for something if you're not fully ready for it, or you're not fully prepared for what it's going to do.
I don't have an answer for you that one either.
That's
my question as well. If you're not good on a map, and like I said on this map, unless you're great on this map, don't play it.
All right, well, there you go. That might be the wisdom of the night, ladies and gentlemen. We're now into our next battle. 07 just needs one more victory. And like we were talking about earlier, they really want this victory. They do not want to go into a tiebreaker, so let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
07 with 2 T-32s, 4 T-54 lightweights, and an AMX-12T. Game Over with 2 T-32s, an RU-251, 3 T-54 lightweights, and a 5916. As previously established, this would give me pause and a little bit of concern about the east side. I would make sure to check that very thoroughly with 07. There's no real problem with doing so, as long as you don't send your T-32s all the way down the east, because the only thing you're super concerned about from Game Over is 32s.
Okay.
54s, they're a threat. But if they push somewhere without the 32s, it's just 4 tanks. Not a big deal, right?
Okay.
So that's where the entire timing of this map pivots around for Game Over's offense. If their 32s aren't there, it's not a main push. It's not something that needs to really be concerned. You need to be concerned with. So my guess is they're going to try and push them up to A6 and expand on the success Mega Monero had there last time. If not, perhaps they'll go into C4-5, maybe A5 to shoot over the rail lines. The only reason I'm really focusing on them is because anytime a T-32 is brought, they have to be brought for a specific reason.
Okay. It's not just like a good flex tank?
It was certainly not a flex tank, but
right.
it's brought for its hull down for the most part.
Okay.
It's depression, and it's reliable turret. Not so reliable right now in this patch, but good enough.
Okay.
So when I see somebody use it, I automatically assume they have an overarching goal for it. Other than that, it's not something particularly worth highlighting. If you're just going to use a general purpose tank, the IS-3 is typically better, but I could see an argument being made on Steps of T-32 being a better general purpose tank, with the exception of it just being a little bit slow in maneuverability.
Right.
And if I were going to do that, I don't know, probably bring Pershing. We can speculate all day. Well, one thing is for certain, they're bringing them over the rail lines, so A5 or A6 for sure at this point.
Right, well, what I was going to say was you were talking about the T-32s being a little bit slow, but what we just saw was those T-54s pushing one T-32 each to get them quicker over the railroad. That might be how Game Over is trying to, kind of compensate for the lack of speed coming out of those tanks. We'll see if it works for them, as they are established now over on the railroad, and it's just those two. Some shots going out from, looks like Commodore side of 07 there. SBR Game Over positioning himself on one end by the red line, the edge of the map there, ladies and gentlemen. In that T-32, a shot going out for Meadowhawk. He is not spotted, so that might have been a blind fire. Another shot going through, but they obviously know he's there. Now he is spotted. Mega looks like he's going to spot that one. One more shot, and he will go down. Game Over. Looking like they really want to take this victory here. BR Game Over taking Meadowhawk down. That is one tank down. There goes the Northern Cap spotting advantage that 07 has.
Yep. Game Over very, very intelligently getting that out of the way, as there was a big problem for them last match. However, I'm not sure they recognize the binocular advantage that CXFT is probably still running. Can verify that very quickly here.
Check it out.
It is. I don't see why they would change. It was very critical for them. HE shot. Weird. Coming into the side of a turret here with a turret 2. I'm not necessarily adverse to HE shot a lot of the time.
Okay.
But on the T-32 from a T-54 or an RU-251, it's kind of a waste of time. I mean, if that's what you're going for, maybe IS-3s with HE. I don't know. I wouldn't do it, so I'm not going to continue speculating on it. 32 BR Game Over is in trouble now.
Let's see what as 07 puts 5 members over the top. Beautiful focus fire coming there. 807. One more shot. He'll go down. Commodore picking that one up. A T-32 going, but the cap fast has been applied for 07. For Game Over, the question is how will 07 respond? Synergy now takes some damage as they're trying to cross railroad tracks. A tank being set off for 07, and now Orcs Cataphract in some trouble himself as the rest of 07 just swarming around him. 866 points of damage there. One more shot, he'll go down. Looks like Makos is lining us up. No, Makos picked that one up, at Mega finding Warbander. Commodore finding Gandolfo. Shots going back and forth, tanks falling for each side, but 5 tanks remaining for 07. Just 4 for the side of Game Over. The health over 1,000 in favor of 07. Game Over,
Nice
finding highs.
job.
Beautiful pickup there. And now it looks like 07 is going to find that victory that they so wanted and needed for this next match. This final looks like their final match of tonight's third match of the night.
Nice pickup by Synergy 3K there. In general, nice play, not getting distracted by the pretty lights on that T-32 driving by him. Going down the rail line and catching the exact tanks that he needed to. A little bit of a weird fight over here by Commodore. A number of T-54s for 07 sitting in the open, just kind of waiting to die. In a very easy place to get shot, but most of them survived it. Makos was there, escaped unscathed. Well, not unscathed, but slightly scathed. Fossa still completely full, was up until just now. And he's going to have a one-on-one with Mega Monero, which should wrap up this match and seal it up 5-3 for 07 against Game Over.
Yeah, great, nice, a nice steps play coming out. Nice little buddy hop there with the shot, 255. Let's see if Makos can mimic it. No, he takes the shot, he lets it fly. Misses. Fossa gonna clean that one up. Man, that was looking for like a Goomba kill there. That would have been very fun to watch.
Awesome.
And now just Dracula over by himself on the railroad tracks. 1 tank remain. He is on offense. 5 for 07 on defense. This is definitely going to 07.
That's a wall.
That's a wall you can't drive through there. Dracula shots. He's trying to come up to the top, getting lit up. Beautiful focus fire there for 07. Dropping to about half health in that RU-251. And the rest coming swarming like bees. Shot going to Makos. Looks like he's going to go for the ram damage. Gets it. Spins Dracula sideways. Dracula does take Makos down, but a lot of damage coming down himself. It's going to be an easy pickup. Synergy 3K with the final pickup there. 07, like you said, David, taking that victory 5-3. And just showing that steps still not Game Over's map.
Clean sweep. 07 on steps.
Right, 4 in a row.
Brought him back from a 2-game deficit.
Yeah.
All the way through. And, perhaps Himmelsdorf was a little bit of missing Vitroxity and some of the aspects that he brings. Perhaps they're just getting out-strategied or strategized. Hey, there we go. Out-strategized by Game Over. I could speculate a number of things. Game Over playing fairly well on Himmelsdorf. 07 not at all. Yeah. And it kind of fits the pattern. If I were missing a player, a map like Himmelsdorf it requires
so many
too
points,
much
so many
cohesion to really do effectively. But see what you get.
They pulled it out. Ladies and gentlemen, 07 again picking that victory up 5-3 against Game Over. That concludes our third match of the night. Next, our fourth and final matchup is going to be Synergy versus Lamp. A very exciting matchup indeed. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.